Hi, and welcome to today's yoga class. Don't mind the animals, they just love to do yoga too. Today's going to be a nice, easy beginner flow. So wherever you are, come to the top of your mat. Stand hip width apart, roll your shoulders back and down. Engage your quads by lifting your knees up, kind of drawing them up towards your hips. Reach the crown of your head tall. Spread your fingers wide. Close down your eyes and just stand here, really focusing on your posture, tucking your tailbone, kind of pulling your shoulders back together so your shoulder blades are almost coming in towards each other. On your next breath, inhale, rise your arms up, reach them tall towards the sky, come onto tippy toes, reach even taller, stretching out through your waist. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. I like to swing my arms back behind me, trying to stay up on your tippy toes. But then once you come forward, let your heels down to the mat and come into a forward fold. So just letting yourself ease into your hamstrings here in the first big stretch of the day. Trying to reach your tailbone up towards the sky. Maybe walk your knees, bending them back and forth. And then maybe find stillness. In this forward fold, you want to try and draw your belly towards your thighs rather than pulling yourself down. You can also be up on fingertips or have a slight knee bend. Wherever you are, just trying to reach your tailbone towards the sky. With your next inhale, halfway lift. Shift your gaze forwards. Draw your belly in towards the back of your spine, still reaching your tailbone towards the sky. And then we're going to plant our hands, and you can step or hop back to the top of a plank position. Reach your heels back, press out through your shoulders. Draw your belly in towards your spine. Try and stay in one straight line here. And then we're going to shift forwards and lower down through chaturanga, or you can take your knees, lower your chest, and then your chin. Roll your body forwards and up into upward facing dog or cobra. So upward facing dog, you have the top of your feet pressing into the mat, and your thighs are slightly up off the mat. Your shoulders are rolling back and down. If you want cobra, your hips or your upper thighs can be on the mat. You're still pressing the tops of your feet in. It's just slightly less on the back, which is really nice when it's your first stretch of the day. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our butt up, and press, using our shoulders, press our hips back into our downward facing dog. Maybe adjust your stance a little bit. I like to bring my feet closer towards my hands. Here, you're going to try and reach your heels towards the ground. Even if they don't reach, it's the action. Reaching your tailbone up towards the sky. Keeping your arms straight, pressing out through your shoulders. Not letting your chest drop, but trying to press like you're pushing the ground away from you. And through the base of your index finger is where you want to place the weight from your hand. Breathe here, feel the activation in the back of your shoulders. Inhale as you bend your knees, look forwards, and exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to your halfway lift, your gaze is forward, tailbone reaching tall, and exhale, fold. Reach your tailbone up towards the sky. Pull your belly in towards your thighs with your core. On your next inhale, rise all the way up to standing, and exhale, hands to your side. Coming into that mountain pose again. Check in with your alignment. Make sure your tailbone's tucked in, your shoulders are back, the crown of your head is reaching tall. And we'll just do one more sun salutation. So inhale, rise arms up onto tippy toes, and exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forwards, letting your heels come to the ground as the crown of your head reaches towards the ground. your tailbone reaching tall towards the sky. Inhale to a halfway lift. Draw your belly in. So activating your core by kind of drawing your belly button to the back of your spine. And then plant your hands on the mat. Step or hop back to the top of the plank. Take a breath here. Reaching your heels back. Drawing the belly in. And then shift forward so your shoulders come in front of your fingertips. And now lower down through chaturanga, keeping your elbows in towards your waist. Come onto the tops of the feet. And then inhale, upward facing dog. There's always the option for knees, chest, chin, and cobra. Here, try and press the tops of your feet into the mat. I have a habit of kind of curling my toes under and then just being on the top of my toes, but you really want that top of your foot to be pressing into the mat. Make sure your shoulders are pulling back. And then tuck toes. Exhale as you press your hips back up into your downward facing dog. Pressing out through your shoulders. Reaching down through your heels. Taking one more breath here. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forwards. And exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Reaching your tailbone tall. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to your side. Inhale as you reach your right hand towards the sky. And then slide your left hand down your left thigh. So here you really want to focus on stretching from kind of the top of your ribs and through your chest rather than collapsing into the waist. So you want to reach tall and then slide over. Inhale, rise back to center. Bring your left hand up to meet your right, and then swing your right hand down towards your right thigh. Slide your hand down your thigh as your left hand comes overhead. Still trying to pull your body up and over so you're bending through your upper ribs rather than collapsing at your waist. Maybe wrap your left shoulder slightly back so you're keeping open in your chest. Inhale, rise both arms back up to center. And as you exhale, cactus your arms so they're coming into 90-degree angles beside you. Press your elbows back towards each other behind your body. Remember to keep your waist tucked so your belly reaching towards the back of your spine. On your next exhale, curl your elbows towards each other in front of you, pressing out through your shoulders here. Inhale, pressing your chest forwards. Really trying to let the stretch come from your shoulder blades rather than from your waist. Today's class is all about stretching the upper shoulders and back. Exhale, curl it in, pressing out through your back shoulder blades. Inhale, straighten your arms towards the sky. And exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, step or hop back to the top of a plank position. Take a breath here, then either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga as you lower down. And inhale into upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, exhale, press your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Taking one breath here. And then we're going to reach our right heel towards the sky, trying to point our pinky toes towards the ground. Pressing out through your shoulder blades. And then curl your right knee in towards your nose as you shift your weight forwards and place it between your hands at the top of the mat. If it falls back a little bit, you can always just walk it forwards. Then you're going to inhale, pressing up into a high lunge. You want your heel to kind of come directly above your toes on your back left foot. Your front knee is bent at 90 degrees. Your arms can be reaching tall in a cactus pose or on your waist. If you have them on your waist, just check in with your hips. See if you can wrap that right hip back a little bit and your left hip forwards. Then you're going to pivot on your left foot, coming onto the side arch. So your right heel is in line with the arch of your left foot. Setting up for warrior warrior two. Swing your arms out long so they're reaching either end of the mat. Gaze over your right hand. Roll your shoulders back and down your spine. And sink into the hips a little bit here into warrior two. Your left leg is straight, your right leg is bent at 90 degrees. Inhale as you straighten your right leg. Pull your body forwards like a rope is pulling you towards the front of the room. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips and bring your right hand towards your right calf, your left hand towards the sky. If you have a block, you can put your hand on a block, put it on your shin, or bring it to the mat. But wherever you are, try and make sure your body is like it's in one plane. So you're not letting your left shoulder drop down in front of you just so you can reach lower. You're really trying to open through the chest. So if that means you're up higher on your leg, that's perfectly fine. It's not about the depth of the pose, it's more where you're feeling the stretch. On your next exhale, swing your left hand down towards the mat. Pivot onto the toes and the ball of your left foot. And then reach your right hand up towards the sky. You can be up on your fingertips or use a block, whichever version will help you. And then pull your right shoulder back, getting a bit of a twist through the spine here. Plant your left hand, come onto the outer edge of your left foot, and step your right foot back to meet your left, coming into a side plank here. You can have your feet staggered, stacked on top of each other, or you can bend your left knee and have it down on the ground. So coming into a modified side plank. Reaching up through your right hand and kind of curling your spine like it's a rainbow. But still trying to keep that right shoulder drawing back, keeping yourself very open. On your next exhale, swing your right hand back towards the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right, coming into the top of the plank. And we'll shift forward and take a vinyasa. So lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck toes, exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Take 1 minute to reset here. 1 breath. On your next inhale, kick your left foot up towards the sky. So you're flexing your foot and trying to draw your pinky toes towards the ground. That will align your hips. So you're not opening your hips here. We're stretching more into the back hamstrings with this alignment. And you're pressing out through your shoulders. 1 more breath here. And then curl your left knee in towards your chest. Shift your weight forwards. And place your left foot between your hands at the top of the mat. Come onto the ball of your right. And then inhale, rise up into a high lunge. I like to sit up and then sink into my hips. My right heel is trying to stack above the ball of my right foot. You can bring your hands to your waist, check in with your hips, see if you can pull your left hip back and your right hip forward a little bit, keeping your front left knee bent at 90 degrees. On your next inhale, you're going to pivot on your right foot so the inside arch of your right foot is in line with the heel of your left foot. And bring your arms up and long. Stretch them out and roll your shoulders back and down. Your gaze is over the front of your left hand. See if you can sink a bit deeper into the hips, trying to keep your left knee above your left ankle. Inhale as you straighten your left leg. Pull your weight forward towards the front of the room. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, and come into triangle pose. So you can have your left hand on your left calf. You can grab it, you can place it hovering there, bring it to the ground or onto a block. Your right hand is towards the sky. Remember to roll that right shoulder back. So maybe you can even bring your hand to your hip and kind of pull your right hip back a little bit. Acting like there is no place for your body to go, but directly on top of each other. So like two planes of glass are squishing you. You can't hinge forward. Taking one more breath here. And then exhale, swing your right hand towards the ground. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot. And then bend your left knee and bring your left hand towards the sky. You can be on your palm of your hand, on fingertips, or on a block. Kind of pulling your right heel back and your right foot forward. So it's almost like your feet are pulling away from each other. This is going to activate your legs more. Pivot onto the outer edge of your right foot as you step your left foot back to meet your right, coming into a side plank. You can have 3 variations here. You can have your feet stacked on top of each other, staggered, or you can come onto that right knee. Wherever you are, rainbowing through your spine, so like there's a hot fire beneath your ribs, and you're trying to push your spine away from it, with your left hand reaching towards the sky. Taking one more breath here, and then exhale, swing your left hand down to meet the right, step your right foot back to meet your left, shift forward, lower down through chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Inhale, we're going to come onto our tippy toes and roll forwards into about the top of the plank, but then bend your knees, lower them down, sit back on your heels, and fold your hands in your lap. Close down your eyes, roll your shoulders back. Try and sit tall through your spine so the crown of your head is reaching straight up. Inhale, rise your arms towards the sky, and as you exhale, bring your right hand down towards the ground, and then pull your left hand towards the right side of the mat, stretching into your left side body. Rotate your left shoulder slightly back, just opening up more into your chest here. Keeping an activation in your fingers, really pulling your left fingers towards the right side of the room. Inhale, rise both arms up. And exhale, bring your left hand down to your side. Right hand comes overhead. Still trying to reach. It's almost like you're pulling tall towards the sky and then hinging over. So you're trying to keep your lower spine more or less directly above your hips, and letting the stretch come from your upper chest region. Keeping an activation in your fingertips. Exhale, bring your right hand back towards your side. Shift your weight forward. Find yourself into a tabletop position. Maybe walk your knees back a little bit. Your knees are directly beneath your hips. Your hands are beneath your hands. And we'll just take a few cat-cows. So inhale, lower your chest. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky, your tailbone reaching tall into cow. And as you exhale, press out through your shoulder blades, curling into a cat pose. It's almost like the crown of your head is reaching in towards your pelvis. Inhale, lower your spine, cow. And exhale, curl it in, pressing out through your shoulders. Just move with your breath here. Inhale, dropping your belly. And exhale, curling it in. Inhale, dropping your belly. I like to almost flow with mine. So then rather than staying stagnant and pressing in and out, I like to pull my hips back towards my heels as I move from cow into my cat. And then as I move into the cat, I roll forwards, pressing out through my shoulder blades just a little bit more. And then I lower my spine, like lower my chest, curl, and pull back into my cows. Finding fluid movements within stretches is how you make sure that you're really reaching into each muscle in your postures. On your next inhale, tuck your toes, find a neutral spine, and then lift your knees up off the mat for a slight hover. See if from here you can lift one hand up off the mat, stretch it out long in front of you, and then stretch your opposite leg out. So your right hand is stretching forwards, your left leg is stretching far. If you want to lower down your knee, you can also do this. This is quite a difficult balance. Exhale, release both hands. Release your knees. Lower back into child's pose just for one little breath. And then inhale, come forward back into the tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your knees up off the mat. And see if you can hover your opposite hand, so your left hand, up off the mat. Stretch it long, and then see if you can kick your right hand out, your right leg out behind you while staying in this tabletop, hovering with the knee. Exhale, set your knees back down. Sit back into a child's pose. Taking one breath here. Inhale, roll your body forwards. And as you come up, you're almost coming like into a cat pose, and then lower your hips like you're in an upward dog, and then lower your chest all the way to the mat. Walk your hands out slightly beside you. So I like to have my hands almost like at 90 degrees, like a cactus. Inhale, roll your spine up. And exhale, roll down. Letting your forehead reach the mat last. Inhale, curl up. Last, letting the crown of your head reach back. And exhale, roll down. See if you can do it with your hands off the mat, so bring them to a slight hover. Inhale, curl up. And exhale, roll down. Inhale, curl up. And exhale, roll down. Notice if a lot of the stretch that you're getting is coming from your hands pushing or from your back pulling. One more. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, roll down. Press your hands into the mat underneath your shoulders and press up into a cobra pose. So you're rolling your shoulders back. Your tops of your feet are pressing down to the mat. Maybe let the crown of your head reach back. And exhale, roll forwards. Bend your right foot. So your right foot is reaching toward, your right heel is reaching towards the sky. And then pull your right foot towards the left side of your body and see if you can place your foot on the ground, keeping your hands where they are, stretching into your lower spine here. Inhale. Bring your right foot back towards the mat. Flex your left foot, reaching it towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring your left foot towards the ground behind your right side and stretch into the spine here. Exhale, release. Coming back into face on the ground pose. I guess it's actually called crocodile, but then press into your hands, sit your butt back towards your heels, swinging your feet out in front of you. Roll your shoulders back, flex your feet, coming into staff pose here. So the top of your head is reaching tall towards the sky, and your hands are pressing down into the mat. Keep your feet flexed. Notice how you're engaging almost every single muscle in your body. Feel the stretch in the back of your wrists. It might feel like a bit of a tingling in your nerves. I at least get that. See if you can keep every muscle activated. So you're not just sitting. You're really holding, your quads are engaged, your toes are engaged, your shoulders are pulling back and down, your crown of your head is reaching towards the sky, your belly is drawing in towards the back of your spine. Take one more breath here, and then inhale, reach your arms tall towards the sky, pulling up and out through your waist. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, try to keep your arms in a straight line with your spine, as far as you can, drawing your belly towards your thighs. And then exhale, release your hands towards the ground, or your feet, or a strap, wherever. And then pull your body a little bit closer in, using your waist, using your core, not your hands. Trying to keep your upper spine straight, so you're not trying to force your forehead to meet your thighs. Letting the compression come from your upper thighs and your core. Keeping your feet flexed. And now exhale. Release your forehead down. You can release the flex in your feet, so maybe point your toes now. And just notice how activating and bending with different muscles feels different in the stretch. Take one more breath here. And then inhale, rise up. Bring your right foot in to meet your left thigh. Inhale, stretching tall through the chest. And then exhale, come forward. Again, pulling with your core, stretching forwards. Inhale, rise up. Bring your right foot back in front of you. Bring your left foot in to meet your right thigh. Inhale, tall through the chest. And then exhale, pull your belly in towards your thigh and stretch here. Keep your right toes flexed. Patty, can you stop biting your nails? It's not good for you. Inhale, release, rise up. Bring your feet out in front of you. And exhale as you slowly roll your spine down all the way to the mat, setting up for Shavasana. Let your arms open to your sides, your shoulders drawing down, just wherever they feel relaxed. Letting your feet fall out to the sides. Notice how that might release any tension in your hips or your lower spine. And just stay here for a few breaths, a few minutes, however long you feel comfortable. And just noticing any sensations, any tingles in your body, how you feel now compared to how your body felt before you started this practice. And whenever you're ready, take one last moment just to thank yourself and thank your body for everything that it does for you and for showing up for yourself. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me. Patty, you really should not do that.